Hi, this is Bill Friis. I have a small into the bone tutorial for you. This tutorial is about the basic of UI table views. So let's start by starting Xcode and create a new Xcode project. Take a single application view, call it TableView. This is Obj-C. Usually I put it in one called Redshirt. Here we are. This is a standard project, nothing fancy to it. I call it TableView. Just to a start, we're gonna remove the view controller. We don't need that one. Then we're gonna create a new own view controller. Remember iOS. Down here you have to select the UI view controller. Let's, for ease sake, call it table view controller. But normally you should call it something that indicate what the content is. Just gonna put it in here. Now we have this table view controller. The second thing we have to do is we want to change the view controller, the standard view controller in the storyboard. I'm just going to delete it. I'm going to drag in a table view controller. By using the table view controller, it's a bit easier. All the outlets are hooked up from the beginning, so you can just get started. You also need to set up our custom class TableView controller. Here we are. And a very important thing is to have a reuse identifier on your cell. You can call it just about anything. You can even use spaces. I just call it cell for the demo's sake. And we're just gonna take a subtitle cell. So here you can see you can have different kinds of cells, but we can take that in a more advanced setup. Now we have the table view controller. It's hooked up in here, which means that all the outlets, the data sources that delegate to the table view, and the table view itself is hooked up. So if we run this now, just gonna run it on a simulator. We're gonna get a couple of warnings. The scene is unreachable. This is because as I deleted the original view controller, it doesn't have an initiate view controller, so we have to select the view controller, the new view controller, and select initiate. You can see it in the storyboard by this this arrow you get in here, saying this is the initial view controller. Okay. The other ones was these two warning directives, which is from the standard of the view controller class. When you create a custom class, it has some things that you need to handle. View controllers uses the protocol. If you're new to Obj-C and Cocoa Touch, protocols is kind of a strange way to look at things. But if you try to imagine that you have a virtual method that you need to override, that's basically what it is. So it's a bit more complicated, and when you get used to it, you're probably gonna like it just as much as I do. But at the moment, we just need to think of them as virtual methods we need to override. As this is a simple view controller that doesn't have any section, just a simple list, we can delete the number of sections in view controller. We don't need that one. default it would say 1, so we don't need that one. The second one, we have to have that one. This one is returning the number of rows in section. This one, the number it returns is it has to take from whatever data source we are using. And this one down here is also important. The cell for row at index path. This one returns a cell view with the information that are in our data source. Press on the tab key, it will highlight the snippet parts, the reuse identifier. We called it cell in the main storyboard. So if we do like this, well, actually, as long as this one is 0, this one is never been called. So it wouldn't crash anyway. But let's try to run it. And here it's coming up. It's just an empty table view, nothing in it. We need to have some data. I like to use properties and lazy instantiate. So in this case I'm going to create an array of words. Be careful not to use reserved keywords. I'm going to create a getter for words. This is a read-only. I don't have any instance variable for it, so I'm just going to return an array. And with the current versions, I think it was 1.5 of Xcode, you have a shortcut to create arrays. You just have an @ sign and the square brackets, and then you can type your array inside there. So now, whenever I'm calling for self words, I'm gonna get this array. So we already saw that if we are running, we are getting an empty table view. So now I'm going to type in here self words count, and then it's gonna return the number of items I have in this array. We can run it, and so now we have 6 cells with title and subtitles. They didn't put in the word yet because we didn't ask it to. Down here, whenever this one is called, it has in the index path the section and the row. As we only have one section at the moment, the section will always be 0. Of course, everything is 0 based. So what we are doing is we need to get the word saying self words object and index path and row. So this is the row number in that section, and then we have the word. Then we can put it into the cell. The cell has, we are using standard cells, the text, label, text. You can set it to the word. Of course, you could just use it in one line where you put this one down here. So, like this. Let's run it. And here you can see this is a list of words. So it's coming in the order that we have written it. Maybe I should delete this one. In just a few lines of codes, we have created and populated a table view with some static data. You can download this the source in this blog.